beyond what we're doing now. Resilient, diverse, and secure supply chains are going to help revitalize our domestic manufacturing capacity and create good paying jobs. Not $15 an hour, which is we need to do someday, and soon as a better in my view, but jobs that are at the prevailing wage. We're going to spur new opportunities for small businesses, communities of color, and economically distressed areas. And I will drive new investment in research and innovation and our workforce, investing in training and university partnerships that are going to lead to new technologies and new solutions. And all of this won't just strengthen our domestic capacity, it will help unleash new markets around the world and grow opportunities for American businesses to export their goods that we're going to be making. These are the kinds of common sense solutions that all Americans can get behind. Workers and corporate leaders, Republicans and Democrats. It's about resilience, identifying possible points of vulnerabilities in our supply chains, and making sure we have the backup alternatives or workarounds in place. Remember that old proverb, for want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost. And it goes on until the kingdom was lost. All for the want of a horseshoe nail. Even small failures at one point in the supply chain can cause outside impacts further up the chain. Recently, we've seen how a shortage of computer chips, like the one I have here, you can hardly see it, I imagine. It's called a semiconductor. It's caused delays in production of automobiles that has resulted in reduced hours for American workers. A 21st century horseshoe nail. This semiconductor is smaller than a postage stamp, but it has more than 8 billion transistors. 8 billion transistors, 10,000 times thinner than a single human hair in this one chip. These chips are a wonder of innovation and design that power so much of our country, enables so much of our modern lives to go on. Not just our cars, but our smartphones, televisions, radios, medical diagnostic equipment, and so much more. We need to make sure these supply chains are secure and reliable. I'm directing senior officials in my administration to work with industrial leaders to identify solutions to this semiconductor shortfall and work very hard with the House and Senate. They've authorized the bill, but they need roughly $37 billion short term to make sure we have this capacity. We'll push for that as well, but we all recognize that the particular problem won't be solved immediately. In the meantime, we're reaching out to our allies, semiconductor companies and others in the supply chain to ramp up production to help us resolve the bottlenecks we face now. We need help to stop, we need to stop playing catch up after the supply chain crisis hit. We need to prevent the supply chain crisis from hitting in the first place. And in some cases, building resilience will mean increasing our production of certain types of elements here at home. In others, will mean working more closely with our trusted friends and partners, nations that share our values so that our supply chains can't be used against us as leverage. It will mean identifying and building surge capacity that can quickly be turned into and ramped up production in times of emergency. And it will mean investing in research and development, like we did in the 60s, to ensure long-term competitiveness in our manufacturing base in the decades ahead. The order I'm about to sign does two things. First, it orders a 100-day review of 4 vital products: semiconductors, 1, key minerals and materials like rare earths that are used to make everything from harder steel to airplanes, 3, pharmaceuticals and their ingredients, 4, advanced batteries like the ones used in electric vehicles. There's strong bipartisan support for fast reviews of these 4 areas because they're essential to protecting and strengthening American competitiveness. Second, this order initiates a long-term review of the industry bases of 6 sectors of our overall economy over the next year. These reviews will identify policy recommendations to fortify our supply chains at every step, and critically to start implementing those recommendations right away. We're not going to wait for a review to be completed before we start closing the existing gaps. And as we implement this work, my administration will draw on a full range of American talent, including labor and industry leaders, policy experts, scientists, farmers, engineers, to get their input. I'm grateful for the members of Congress who came to see me, Republican leaders as well as Democrats. They're leading the way. We're going to stay in close contact with members of both sides of the aisle and keep advancing our shared goals. Everyone has a role to play to strengthen our supply chains and our country. This is the United States of America. We are better prepared to meet the challenges of the 21st century than any country in the world. There's nothing we've ever failed to achieve if we work together. And that's what we decided to do today. And that's what we're going to do, work together. So I thank you all. I'm very optimistic about the meeting we had today with our congressional colleagues. And now I'm going to walk over and sign that executive order. Very much.
Mr. President, are you disappointed that more of your cabinet nominees have not yet been confirmed by the Senate?
I am, but I don't so much blame it on the Senate. I blame it on the failure to have a transition that was rational. As you know, previous administrations had a significant number of their cabinet confirmed before they even were sworn in. That's the tradition. But we're doing fine. I think we're going to be in good shape.
What about you?
Thank you.
Are you going to talk to the king of Saudi Arabia?
I'm going to be talking to him. I have not spoken to him yet.
Are you going to speak to him today?
Are you willing to say you've read the Khashoggi report yet?
Am I going to take what? I'm sorry?
Have you read the Jamal Khashoggi report yet from the ODNI?
Yes, I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.